Okay, so we're just gonna have like a makeup therapy session today, testing out some new cosmetics that I've recently purchased, some new makeup that I've recently purchased, along with like some new brushes and everything. I need to chit chat, I need to talk, I need to cry because I had a lot of stuff go down recently and I'm highly frustrated and annoyed. So yeah, if you guys want to watch me put on makeup, talk about new stuff, and listen to me bitch about life, keep on watching, friends. Okay, so this is the One Size Secure the Blur Primer. Also, I apologize for the lighting. I'm sitting in front of the sliding door that I have, but like this side is dark because there's no light that doesn't look weird. Also, if you see me looking down, it's because my mirror is right here, so I can see my big old face. This is like a skin blurring primer. I don't think it's necessarily like mattifying, it just helps to blur your pores and stuff. So I'm gonna do a little bit. It's by One Size, which is Patrick Starr's brand. This thing has gone viral many times over. I also have a spot right there, and because I'm me, I picked at it because I have issues with self-control apparently, which actually isn't that hard to believe. So I guess like the first thing I need to talk about is like that my mom fell and freaking broke her hip like 2 weeks ago, and now Workman's Comp doesn't want to pay for it because they suck. No, essentially they're saying that what happened could have happened anywhere, and what I keep saying is like she tripped over her own feet at work, which yes, could have happened anywhere, but she wouldn't have landed on a concrete floor anywhere, which is what I told her to tell them. But nobody listens to Shanna, because what does Shanna know? Nothing. The new foundation I'm going to be trying is from NARS. It's in the shade Mont Blanc. It's the Longwear Radiant Creamy, and I'm going to be testing out the Vive Beauté, Vive, it's Vive, Jamie Genevieve line of brushes. So,
oh yeah, man.
Come on. I really should start wearing sunscreen more because I'm beginning to get like more discoloration, and I need to do my skincare regimen better. So this is the foundation brush. This is the Vive 117 foundation brush. I'm curious how this foundation is going to work on my skin though, because I hate this concealer. Like the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, I hate it. It does nothing for me. So I'm very curious about how this is going to work for foundation. But okay. But yeah. So that's what I said about her falling and breaking her hip and all that good stuff. But again, what does Shanna know? According to a lot of people, nothing. I know nothing. So that was fun. So I missed like 3 days of work at Rite Aid because of it, and I'm not blaming her for that or anything, and I have sick pay, so it's not like I was super worried about it. But it's a lot. It was very stressful for me to do all that, and then on top of that, I also had to spend damn near $300 freaking dollars to buy some wheel bearings for my car. Thankfully, my cousin is going to replace them for me, like change them and everything for me. But I had to spend buku bucks to get them, which is dumb. Well, not dumb. I just don't like spending money unless it's on makeup or purses, you guys. Like, even clothes, I shop mostly clearance racks and everything. So for concealer, I'm gonna be trying out the Vive. But yeah, so that was fun. And then today, okay, let's top off everything that's happened within the last 2 weeks. 3 weeks, sorry. Today, find out that my insurance is being canceled because I make too much money. Now, mind you, I have a student loan payment that's almost $250. Okay. My rent is $600 a month. My car payment is $400+, and then my car insurance is another $400+. Like, just for car payment and car insurance, it's almost $900 a month. I'm very annoyed about that. Just like in case you were wondering, I'm hella annoyed about all that. So then I had to call and get insurance today, and luckily, like, I've got health insurance again after the end of the month, because that's when, also, in case I didn't say it, this is the Vive concealer in the shade Light 1. Yeah. So, like, I'm grateful to be having insurance again, or still, but it's just, like, I've had state Medicaid my entire life. And if you're not from the United States, or you've never been on Medicaid, let me tell you, it sucks. It's meant for people with low incomes, and while I make a lot of money, I also, like, just in bills, I have to, like, I spend a lot of money too. Like I said, like, you guys heard about my rent and my car, student loans, but my phone is $50 on top of that, plus, like, my gas bill for, like, running my car is probably $160 a month, depending on how expensive gas prices are and stuff that day when I go and get gas. And so it's just, I'm bitching, and I know I'm bitching, and I'm sorry if you don't want to hear it, if you're just here for the makeup. But I need to spew. I need to have a therapy session. So, we're having makeup therapy. I like this brush. I really do like this brush. I like how it blends out the product on your face. I do really enjoy that. And it worked really well as well for under my eyeballs. So, that's beautiful. We love to see it. Now, before my concealer creases like freaking stupidity, I'm going to set my under eye with a powder if I can find it. So let me go find my powder. Okay, so this is the powder we're going to be using. It's the Vive Modern Powder Perfector in the shade Light. I'm going to just pat out underneath my eyes with the brush. And then I'm going to take... Bye! I'm going to take the V123 Precision Powder Brush and go in to this and just set underneath the eyeball. So that's all I'm really doing. I have a loose powder I'm going to use to do the rest of my face. But there's that. I do like the powder. It's a nice, light, finely pressed formula for the powder. I like the brush as well. I really think it's a good for getting underneath the eye. What I will say is that I wish it came in a lighter shade also, because this is like very close to my skin tone, right? Same thing with the concealer. I wish it came in a little bit of a lighter shade, because I use my concealer strictly to brighten underneath my eyes, to center on my forehead, and like down the bridge of my nose. That's a me thing. If you don't want to, that's cool too. I don't care. Well, that sounded really rude. Not that I don't care, but like everybody has their own preferences. And I am in a mood today. I also called in sick at Family Dollar, because when I tell you I felt like I was going to throw up earlier, I felt like I was going to barf all over everybody. I need to get my hair dyed again. I could just dye and do it myself, especially since I don't really have the freaking money to pay somebody to do it right now. I just don't. Apparently, I also need a new brow pencil. Love that for me. So then the next question becomes, do I buy one in the shade that my hair actually is, which is like a medium brown, or do I buy it in the color I'm going to be dyeing my hair, which is black? I don't know. Or I could just do both. I mean, these aren't like crazy expensive. They're freaking Morphe, so they're only like 10 bucks a piece. But yeah, I don't know anymore. On the plus side, right, I actually started doing makeup. I did makeup on my friend Vicky. She ate off her lipstick, but I'll try and include a picture here. Don't mind all that, please. But yeah, I did her makeup. I think it turned out really good. I'm trying to get to that point where I can just do makeup on people, because wow, they are sisters and they're like cousins. This one is way straighter and this one is way more arched, but like rounded arched. My face doesn't match anyway. Who the hell cares? So with the foundation, I can already tell you it's not my favorite. It is not my favorite foundation. It's too matte. Like, it looks very matte. It feels kind of heavy on my skin. I love the Radiant Sheer Glow. Love that. But this is not something I'm a super big fan of. So, there's that. For bronzer, I should have just said this is a full face of Vive, except it's technically not. But most of this new stuff is Vive. I'm going to be using the Vive. Actually, if you guys want to see a full face of Vive, let a girl know, because I can save that to use for that, and I can save that. So I have these new Tarte bronzing and blushing sticks, whatever the hell they're called. This is the bronzer in the shade Dusk. It is a very nice fair tone. I'm gonna roll it down because I probably don't need it up that high, but we are going to pretend you have cheekbones and that your hairline's not receding, Shanna, because you're being stressed out all the goddamn time. But yeah, so let's see. Let's do that. I'm gonna use my finger for blending it out on my nose, I think. And then I'll use a brush for the rest. That works. Nice thing about it is it doesn't pick up foundation when you do that. It is really creamy all on its own, so you don't have to warm it up on the back of your hand, which can happen sometimes. I'm gonna go back in with the foundation brush and just blend. Blend, 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 blend. Blend in. Like so. But hopefully in November, I'll be going on a partial vacation, and I say a partial vacation because I can take a vacation from Rite Aid, but not Family Dollar if I want to get paid. And at this point, I'm going to need to. So I have a feeling what's going to end up happening is I'm just gonna have to leave fucking early every day from where I'm gonna be staying to do that. I'm gonna spoolie out my brows a little bit, I think. That blended beautifully. So this brush is also really good for like cream bronzer. I didn't think it wouldn't be, but you never know anymore. And then the blush stick is in the shade Pink because I prefer pinkier barrier tones. I don't like peach. They look too orange on me. So take that for what you will. I'm gonna do like that for them. And then what do you want to do? Should I just use my finger? I'll just use my finger. Yes, that's really lovely. It is like a soft flush of color, and this is almost like a cream to powder formula, I would say. It blends effortlessly though. Like, I don't know, let me see if I can you guys see that? This is natural light too. Right here is natural light. But you know what? All things considered, that foundation isn't that bad. It's definitely like radiant. Like my skin still, I'm not gonna say it looks like skin. It very much so looks like I'm wearing makeup, but it doesn't look like I'm wearing a lot of makeup, and I kind of am wearing a lot of makeup right now. I think that's better. Maybe. You guys will have to tell me if you like the spot for filming or not. I'm sorry if you can hear the crickets. It just is what it is at this point. So there's that. Now the question becomes, do I want to actually, Shannon, you're gonna leave it alone. You're going to leave it alone. Also, anything that's not Vive, I bought at Ulta. I used to work there. I used my points to pay for this, so I didn't pay for any of this like myself out of my own pocket. Just so like perfectly clear, we're being honest here. I didn't pay for any of this stuff out of my pocket except for the Vive. I used my points, which is why I got this, because I've been wanting to try this for a long time. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Veil Powder in the shade Translucent. And I'm gonna use this brush. This is the 127 powder and bronzer brush. And just kind of buff that everywhere. Well, there went $10. Ooh, that's not good. Why did that happen? Okay. So there's the skin in that finished setting. Whatever hadn't already set itself, since it's been like 10 minutes since I applied the foundation and everything. Let's do another skin check so y'all can see. I can't see, I'm sorry. But this is like direct sunlight too, so. Wait. Cannot see when I do that. But that's what the skin is looking like. I do have a powder bronzer. It's not new to me. Like, I have tried this formula before. I just bought the correct shade this time, which is the Vive Modern Bronzer Duo in the shade Light. Now for that, I'm going to use the same brush, this bronzing brush. I do not like this brush for powder. In my opinion, there should have been like a larger brush. Let me go get like one that I'm talking about for powder. Okay, so when it comes to loose or pressed powders, this is definitely the type of brush I prefer compared to like something this size. This one, it picks it up better, and because the top is so much wider compared to this, it disperses it better when you pat. That's my opinion. Again, you don't have to agree. Do I think this is going to be a lovely bronzer brush? Absolutely, I do. I think it's going to be beautifully gorgeous for a bronzer. I'm just going to mix these two shades together though. And this is actually a really lovely color for me because it's more cool tone versus warm tone. So I'm just gonna, yeah, that's really pretty. The skin is looking beautiful. And then just kind of down my nose. Like that. And then we'll do a little bit on the forehead just to warm up the complexion. So there's that. Now this is like the first brush. I don't like the fact that this is the only big fluffy brush in this set. There's my first critique of the brush set. I believe that's my first critique anyway. I'm a very bitchy critical person, so it could be like my second or my fifth. I don't know. I don't think so though. For powder blush, I'm going to be using this Kokie Soft Gradient blush in the shade Heartthrob. It's just like a soft ombre pinky color, and this is the Vive 121 Blush and Bronze brush. So, again, just go, whoo, 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 whoo. That's pigmented. Holy shitters. But it's very pretty. Yeah, okay. Maybe I do like the finish of that NARS foundation. I don't like the texture or anything, but finish, A+. It's an A+ finish. Okay, let's do the eyes. Okay. For eyeshadow today, I'm going to be playing with the the ABH Cosmos palette, because I do really like the formula of these. This is the color story. I have kind of already swatched it, but we're just going to do a look with it and see how it goes. For the first, this is the small eyeshadow blender from Vive. It's a 219. I'm going to go into the shade Space Dust because it is a really good transition shade for my skin tone. So start that in my crease and just blend. Blend, blend, blend. The shade itself is not crazy dark, which is a good thing, because it means that other shades will be able to blend on top of it and actually show through, which sometimes when you use a darker shade as like your crease color or a transition shade, that does not happen. So we'll do that. like that. Yeah, I love this formula. This, I know that not everybody likes Anastasia's formula, but this one and all of her newer palettes, this is excellent quality eyeshadow. It's soft, it's blendable. You can blend it and buff it away if you mess it up, but it's also pigmented, so, but it, how do I put this? It's buildable, which is good, because if you mess it up, you can just blend it away, because the pigment will fade off your eyes, right? It happens. But it's also pigmented enough that it'll stick to whatever you put it on as well, if you pack it on there enough. Does that make sense? I'm trying to make sense. I just really like it. It's a softer pressed formula, which for me is good. I like that. So I'm thinking we might go into the shade Eclipse, which is this one right here. It's like a greeny gray color. I'm gonna take an even smaller brush. This is the nope, I don't want that one. I'm just gonna take the same brush that I used for the other shade and use this for Eclipse. Pack it on the outer corner and up into the crease, kind of keeping it tucked underneath that transition shade. Like that. Beautiful. Really lovely color. Just do the same thing on the other side. Like that. Beautiful. Love to see it. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take Super Cluster, or do I want Mercury? Or Quasar? You know what? I'm going to take Mercury, which is this greeny shimmery shade right there. Just going to use my finger and gently pat that all over the lid. Just like that. And do the same thing on the other side. Gently pat it on the lid. Beautiful. Love to see it. Then I'm going to take the Precise Eyeshadow Packer from Vive, and I'm going to go into the shade Quasnar, this shade right there. And I'm going to put that on the center. Kind of give it like a fake halo eye effect. Yeah, that's way shinier. You need to wet the brush. Don't want to, don't. Do the same thing on the other side. Beautiful. Again, love to see it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take Mercury. I kind of like switch the brush off. I'm going to go into Mercury and do the bottom lashes. Or bottom lash line. Just like the inner part of the eye. Or like the halfway mark of underneath. Just to add a little smoke. Just like that. Now, I'm gonna go put on mascara because I don't have a new one of those. And then we'll come back, do the lips, and do final thoughts, discussions, feelings. Okay, so for lips, also Vive, I have the shade Kink in their Shine lipstick formula. There's the color, and there it is diffused out. Interesting, because I wouldn't even say this is like a shiny lip. It's more of like a demi matte, because my lips are not shiny. And I like that. Like, I do not like glossy lips very much. I would much prefer a matte lip and then maybe add a little gloss to the center. But I don't like an all over glossy lip. This is giving like the best of both worlds. It feels very nice on the lips. It's not drying. It's not crusty. It's not giving me wrinkle lips. It's just giving a very pretty nude color. So this is a hit for me. I really like this color. I like the product. This might be the only shade to buy of it, just because it's like a nude pinky tone that I love. Okay? Okay, don't judge me. So let's do final thoughts on everything that we tried. You already heard my opinion about the lipstick just recently. I love the formula. I think it's a really pretty color. We'll see how it wears, or I'll see how it wears, and I can update you in the comments if you want me to. The brushes, I like them. Do I wish that instead of including 2 different bronzer brushes, that she had maybe done the 2 bronzer brushes and also included a big powder brush like this? Yes, because this brush set is over $300. For that price, I think there could be 2 different bronzer brushes and a big powder brush. There could also be a couple more eyeshadow brushes, but I was able to get this whole look done with what's in there, so we're not going to complain too much. Is it a good brush set? Yes. Do I necessarily think it was worth $300 something? Not necessarily. At that point, I think you're paying maybe for the name versus like the actual product, because if I'm not mistaken, these are vegan brushes, so they're plastic brushes basically. They don't feel like plastic. They're very good brushes, but they're not like animal hair, right? Okay, that makes sense. Primer, I think, let's see, I think I like the primer. It did blur my pores really nicely. They're not like gone. I don't think I added enough primer to make them gone, but where they're typically looking like craters on my cheeks and on my nose, they are diminished. So that's good. I do like that. Yay. Foundation. I love the finish. Love the finish of this foundation. I will keep using it for that alone. I don't like how matte and heavy it feels on my skin. I don't like that, but I love the finish. The concealer. The concealer. I like this. I do like the formula. I like how well it covered up my under eyes. I like how it blended in. It's very creamy. I love it. I wish that there were lighter shades. You don't hear me say that very often because typically I just buy the lightest shade and I'm good to go. Like, it does what I want it to do, or I buy like second to lightest or third to lightest. This was the lightest warm toned shade. And it blends in with my foundation. It does not brighten or anything, which is a little bit disappointing to me. Formula wise, 10 out of 10. What I bought it to do, it's like an 8 out of 10. It did what it was supposed to do in the fact that it concealed. It just didn't do anything extra like brighten, which most of my concealers, I buy them to brighten. Because unless I've been like super sleep deprived, I don't have dark bags. Powder. I like this powder. I do like the powder. I like the packaging. I like the fact that it's refillable. I like how luxe it looks and feels. Like, this looks pretty. I enjoy that. I like how well the powder smoothed under my eyes. I have the same issue with the powder that I have with the concealer. I wish that there was a lighter shade or a translucent shade so that I could have brightened up underneath my eyes. Okay? That's my big complaint with that. The Tarte bronzer blush sticks, I love these. I will reach for these again and again and again. I love how they applied with my fingers because I used my fingers for most of it. You saw me. I blended them in for the most part with my fingers. I love that. They're easy. Jackass. Rude. They blended really nicely. They blended in seamlessly. Like, gorgeous products. I didn't have to warm them up on my hand or anything. They just blended really nicely. Oh, look at the puppy dubbies. Hold up. Let me see if I can flip it so you guys can see. So, that little beastie butt is Bear. That beastie butt is my neighbor's dog, and his name is Casey. Casey. Casey! Hi, Casey! Now he wants a treat, and I'm not giving him a treat. Yeah? So that's my thoughts on that. For the powder bronzer, I already knew I liked this product. I really am glad I bought this shade because this shade matches me a lot better. So I'm glad I bought that. 10 out of 10, would recommend the bronzers. The Hourglass Ambient Lighting Loose Powder. Again, it's gorgeous. I love it. I'm not mad that I spent my points on it. Would I have spent actual cash on this? No. Do you know why? Because the e.l.f. Halo Glow Powder does the exact same thing. The exact same thing. Is this in prettier packaging? Absolutely. Again, will this look beautiful on my vanity that nobody but me sees? Yes. Am I mad that I bought it? Hell no. I like it. I'm bougie on the inside. Bougie on a budget. Kokie blushes, the ombre ones. These are lovely, or at least this shade is. They are hella pigmented. You do not need a lot. Be cautious, but it's drugstore. They're like $8, I think, at CVS, or not CVS, Rite Aid where I work. I got them there. Beautiful, 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 beautiful color. I love that. We already talked about the lipstick. Now, I'm straight up gonna say, as much as I raved about this palette, I think this was the biggest disappointment. Excuse me. This was the biggest disappointment out of everything because this palette, ABH, not even because of the formula. The formula is great. Beautiful, lovely formula. The color story, it's so neutral. Why is it so neutral? And you don't hear me say that very often. But with Cosmos, they could have done pinks, purples, blues, a black, a gray, a white. They could have made this whole palette sparkly. And it would have been lovely. I have 8 million light browns I can use as a transition shade. I have enough of this color in my outer corner. What I needed was the Cosmos colors in a shimmer formula. In this metallic shimmer foiled beautifulness of a formula. They could have done that and I would have been ecstatic. Loved it. Hyped it up so much you wouldn't have believed it. Is it a bad palette? No. If you like neutrals, you'll like it. If you like neutrals with a pop of color on the lid, like I do, you're really going to like it. But because my collection is so large, so this is a me problem, you're fine, Bear. Because my personal collection is so large, they could have made that palette. I mean, if you have a bronzer shade, you don't need all those mattes in that palette. If you have a bronzer shade, they could have just made that palette nothing but shimmers, metallics, foils, and it would have been beautiful. 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 So, yeah. With that being said, those are my thoughts and opinions on all the new makeup that I've got recently. If you guys like these types of videos, please subscribe. Bear? If you like these types of videos, please subscribe. If you like to listen to Bear whine and scratch at the door, which I don't, so I don't actually expect any of you to, please subscribe. If you like hearing my opinions on makeup, my absolute expert with an A opinions on makeup and cosmetics that I try, please subscribe. And with that being said, I will see you all in my next one. Goodbye.